What's up guys, it's Victor. Soon we'll be entering the year 2021, and although we don't have flying cars yet, that doesn't mean you can't have a smart home right now. In this video series, I'm going to be going over how you can easily make your dumb home into a smart one with products that you can get your hands on right now. Along the way, I'll be reviewing all of the smart products I've been using inside the home to help you decide whether or not they're worth buying. However, before we even get into all of that, you need to have a firm understanding of where to start when building your smart home. Without building a solid foundation for your smart home products, you will run into compatibility issues which will make it so hard for you to use that it ultimately renders the smart features useless. And I don't want that to happen to you. So strap in, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one on this topic. I'd greatly appreciate it. You'd be helping my channel out immensely. And with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Whenever you go out shopping for smart home products, one of the things that you need to be aware of is what kind of API that smart product works under. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and all you basically need to know is that this is how this particular smart product is able to communicate with certain software or virtual assistants. There are many different APIs out there, but we're just going to go over the big three that you'll see, which is Amazon Alexa, Google, and HomeKit from Apple. You need to make sure that all of the smart home products that you are buying work with one single API that you plan on sticking with for basically the rest of your life. And here's why. The number one thing that we all use and carry around with us on a daily basis is our smartphone. On that smartphone, you have a virtual assistant such as Google, Siri, and kind of Alexa. We'll talk more about her later. With each API though, also comes an all-in-one app that allows you to connect and easily control all of your smart devices. Google and Alexa have apps that can be downloaded to practically any device. Apple has the Home app, which, sadly, is only available on iPhone, iPads, and Macs. Furthermore, these virtual assistants can be spoken to in order to easily control the smart products within your home, set up and control automations, and keep everything really neat set up in just one app. The problem is, once you start buying other smart home products into your home that differ from the API of other products that you already have, then all of that stuff I just listed here will be gone. You won't be able to easily speak to your virtual assistant to control that product, you won't be able to set up automations with other smart products, and they all won't be readily available to you in an all-in-one app.
Who are you people?
This may be difficult for some of you because unlike most Apple users, people will constantly switch their phone between different brands and have no loyalty to the brands that they switch to. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. If you prefer to stay neutral between all brands and try new experiences, then that's fine. But it may negatively impact your smart home experience as not everything will flow together within a single ecosystem. However, if you are this type of person, then your best option is to go with Alexa or Google products. First, because Amazon doesn't have its own smartphone operating system, unless you count Fire OS, which ran on Amazon Fire Phone, but that phone has since been discontinued. Second, because you can still pretty easily control your Alexa and Google smart home products from your phone by installing the Alexa or Google app on basically any smart device. So regardless of whether you change or use different devices, then you can feel safe knowing that you can still control them through these all-in-one apps. Personally though, I don't like having to constantly open an app just to access and control my smart home. I like being able to just use my voice to speak to the virtual assistant that is baked into my phone, like Siri or Google. This makes it easier for me to control my smart home for when my hands are busy, such as me driving or riding a bike. That way, my smart home isn't out of reach. Now that we've established the different APIs and why you'd want to choose one of them, let's talk about some of the pros and cons between each API in order to help you decide which one you may want to stick to. Starting with Alexa, Amazon is by far ahead of the game when it comes to smart home products. How far, you may ask? Well, Amazon will soon be releasing a smart attack drone which will strike down any intruder in your smart home. I'm kidding. But seriously, there will be a drone that will fly to an intruder in order to give you a visual on who might be breaking in. Not only that, but Alexa has a plethora of different smart home products ranging from lighting to even toasters. I'm not sure why you would want or even need a smart toaster, but Amazon has one. Lastly, Amazon smart home products can be purchased relatively cheap, so you won't have to invest a ton of money into an Alexa smart home as compared to Google and HomeKit. The cons? As we've discussed, Alexa is not baked into any popular smart home operating system. Unless you have an Alexa device planted everywhere, you will be constantly opening the Alexa app to control your devices. The other con is that considering that most Amazon products are fairly cheap, they are oftentimes referred to as lower quality devices than those offered by Google or HomeKit. But this can be entirely subjective, and most people really don't mind the quality. For example, their line of smart speakers, the Echo devices. Google is behind Alexa in terms of smart things that are available for its platform. It has a lot of good first-party options like Google's Nest line of products that range anywhere from routers to smart fire detectors, and third-party options available as well. Fun fact, Nest was actually co-founded by former Apple engineers, where you can sometimes see its great design language come from. These products also run from different price ranges, whereas the first-party options are of course more costly. I would definitely go with Google if you are using a Pixel phone or a newer Android device that allows you to use Google as your voice assistant. Google support page claims that it should be available for any Android device running Android 5.0 and above. I don't really see any cons here unless you just don't have a newer Android device that runs Android 5.0. Then you'd have to use the Google app constantly to control your devices. But overall, Google has a solid ecosystem of products that I'm sure you'll love. Then there's HomeKit. And honestly, coming from an Apple user here, there aren't a lot of pros here. Other than Siri is baked into every Apple product, so the ability to control your smart devices will always be nearby. However, it's pretty pricey to buy into the HomeKit ecosystem, and there aren't very many, if any, options out there. So be warned. However, if you're already deep into the Apple ecosystem at this point, then you're probably already used to this, so this may not even come as much of a problem. Anyways, those are your options, so go ahead and pick your poison. After you've chosen your main ecosystem, you now have to pick out a hub. For this, I would highly recommend that you start off with a smart speaker. That's because smart speakers have greatly placed microphones on them that will always be listening and waiting for your next command by listening for the activation phrase, such as. This makes controlling your smart devices from within the home much easier and accessible. A hub is basically the main control center for all of your smart devices and connects them to your home's Wi-Fi that will also allow you to control them from outside the home with an internet connection. And as we'll talk more in detail in this series, having a smart speaker just makes whole home audio much easier than the more traditional ways. Your options for Amazon would be any of the Echo and Echo Dot devices. For Google, that's the Google Home or Nest Mini devices. And for HomeKit, that would be either the HomePod or HomePod Mini. Keep in mind that these smart speakers will need to be connected to Wi-Fi and powered on at all times in order to operate your smart home. Once you've chosen a hub, you're then ready to get started on building your smart home. Lastly, let's discuss one very important matter, and that's privacy. Obviously, having a lot of smart connected devices within your home always listening sounds pretty creepy. I could also go on for days on how this company isn't doing enough to help keep your privacy, but overall, all companies have at one point failed to keep their customers' data private. And it is a constant issue that makes its way back on the news every so often. And even as an Apple user, I can't totally defend them when they were even caught red-handed listening to Siri recordings that were not disclosed to customers. So, what does this all mean? Well, just be mindful of these things and don't assume that any company is out there to protect your privacy. Furthermore, be aware that hackers and that they could at some point exploit your smart home equipment, as has happened with Amazon devices. Thankfully, there are ways to help prevent this, such as setting up two-factor authentication for your accounts surrounding these products. We'll go over ways to toughen your security around your network somewhere in this series, so don't forget to subscribe and like this video for that. Anyways, with that, I'll wrap up this video. Thank you all for watching the introduction to my smart home series. I hope you all learned a lot and are ready to get started with building your smart home. Comment down below on which ecosystem you've chosen and why. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this one. I'll see you all in the next video.